Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah to the one who has created the sun and the moon and the skies and the earth. He made man in different tribes and races that decreed that piety is what gives us our worth. He gives us life and causes us to die and will resurrect us with a new rebirth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His salat and salam on Prophet Muhammad, the one who was sent as Rahmatan lil Alameen. Continuing with the tafsir of Surah Rahmaan, we now look into the ayah number 5. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ash-shamsu wal qamaru bihusban. The sun and the moon abide by extremely precise calculation. Recall the mushriks wanting to believe only what they see in spite of Allah giving them the bayan. Here it is like Allah telling them, you really want to see because you say you only believe what you see, you don't accept al-bayan? Fine. How come you don't look at the sun and the moon which follow a very precise calculation? Let us take a look at the sun and the moon. We will realize why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Rahmaan, has made a specific mention of these to us before mentioning the other celestial creations. Attention is drawn to the signs found in this universe. If signs are required to substantiate the warnings of the Quran, then why should people wait for a new sign? They should just observe the heavens above them. They should see how the sun and the moon adhere to their paths with such punctuality and discipline. There is never a discrepancy even of a second. People should also see how these heavenly bodies are observing the limits set for them by the Almighty. From the general blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are in their appointed cosmological trajectories, perfect orbits. Just imagine such huge, massive objects which we take for granted. If the sun and moon were placed any further away or closer to the earth, we would not be able to exist. Does not this sign every day teach man the lesson that if the creator of this universe has subjected such grand creations as the sun and the moon to certain laws, why will he not subject man to his commands? If man breaks these laws and dares spread anarchy in this world, why would he not punish them? It is most befitting for man to abide by the laws he has implemented in every nook and corner of this universe. In Surah Yasin, Surah number 36, Ayah number 40, never does the sun exceed its ordained path to intrude into the path ordained for the moon, nor does the moon intrude into the path ordained for the sun. The sun and the moon have been placed accurately and their movements are so precise that any minuscule alteration will have catastrophic effects. All creatures of the earth have stability, consistency and predictability in their lives and depend on the sun and the moon for their survival. Who maintains this? Who orchestrates this? Have you ever wondered what would happen if it was to be disrupted? Can you fix it? The sun described as a lamp to provide light and the moon to reflect the light of the sun during the night as it goes through its different phases. All these are very disciplined, and all of our calendars, the dates and the months are based on either the sun or the moon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them follow a schedule. The sun and the moon are of less dignity than human beings. If they can follow a precise measure and have discipline, then why can't we? The Quran, from this point of view, is an invitation to discipline. Actually, our discipline is dependent on the sun and the moon. Our salah is a form of our discipline, which is a function of us observing the position of the sun. Our monthly fasting and seasonal hajj is a function of the moon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to look at all the good qualities of the creation and bring those qualities into our lives. There is constantly a comparison between human beings and other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. You and I must have respect for time, because the one who made us, he likes to design things that are disciplined. Allah is saying, you are the best of the creation, but lesser creatures than you, like the sun and the moon, they have respect for time, they have discipline. If we just reflected on the sun and the moon, we would respect our time more. The next time you look at a sunrise or sunset, think about how you use your time. Were it not for these celestial objects, we would not have any sense of time at all. We know down to a millisecond the time of sunrise and sunset, the eclipse, etc., the alterations of the seasons in the year also. If you look up at calendars of previous years, you will find that the time of sunrise and sunset is the same for the same day and the same month of every year. What does husban in this ayah mean? Husban is from calculation, hisab, something extremely precise. The word husban also means destruction. In Surah Al-Kahf, there is a conversation between two gardeners. The one says to the other that he should change his ways, because if he doesn't, then Allah may send upon his garden destruction from the sky. Everything, even our life and death, goes by a calendar. The sun and moon are set for destruction. The pin of the grenade has already been taken out, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us the relevance of the message of the Quran. Come to your senses now, because there is very little time left. In Surah Al-Kahf, ayah number 40, Surah number 18, ayah number 40, it may be that the Lord will give something better than your garden, and He will send on it husban, which means timely destruction, calamity from the sky. Then it will be a smooth, dusty ground. Here in this Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah mentions that not only the sun and the moon follow a precise calendar, but also they are on the verge of pre-calculated destruction. Why is it mentioned here? Because the greatest sign of Judgment Day is the coming of the Prophet ﷺ and the revelation of the Quran. Another great sign of the Judgment Day is the moon splitting. That is why the previous surah begins with the mention of the moon splitting. Now the only thing left to see is the destruction of the sun and moon. Ultimately, when the sun and moon, the very source of our existence, will get destroyed, we should never think that mankind is here forever. The earth is our temporary abode, and hereafter awaits us. May Allah assist and guide us to take lessons from this ayah and not only understand but also respect the importance of time. Ameen. May Allah guide us to discipline ourselves in a way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has disciplined the celestial objects created by Him. Ameen. Insha'Allah, we will continue with the tafsir of the surah in the next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.